Alright, welcome back to the channel, my team. Thanks for tuning in to another Bitcoin update. Before we get started, remember like, comment, and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter and Telegram. The links are in the description. If you're interested in VIP program, you can join our Telegram channel and inquire about joining our VIP channel. Let's go straight into the update. So, taking a look at the Bitcoin chart, we're going to go over two charts today. Both are going to be on Bitcoin. The first chart is taking a look at the 4 hour, and the next chart will be taking a look at the 1 hour. First and foremost, looking at the 4 hour chart, we are attempting to break $40,000. Of course, $40,000 is a major psychological resistance. Now, I did illustrate this chart a few hours ago in our Telegram channel and on Twitter with some annotations. Now we can see we've got two possible scenarios over here. Scenario number one is we lose this short-term trend line, and I'm just going to highlight it over here. This short-term trend line here, I'll highlight it in yellow. If we lose our short-term trend line, as you can see, we expect a drop down to the 35K support region. Of course, if we lose that trend line, this drop will be a rapid drop. And of course, we do have interest rates rising in a few days. So we could see that trigger a collapse in the financial markets. Option number two, or scenario number two, of course, is that we do push upwards and break out of the descending channel resistance. The descending channel resistance has actually turned into a little bit of dynamic range between two trend lines, this trend line and this trend line. This entire range between is acting as a dynamic resistance. Now we can indicate that on the 1 day chart, and we can see that if we draw our resistance lines from the apex, from the peak wick on the descending channel, drawing it downwards, we get that first initial higher range, and of course from the top of the candlestick on the 8th of November, drawing it down, meeting resistance points, we get the lower range. So at the moment, we do need to clear that range for Bitcoin to push higher. And that is why we marked this point on the chart with this yellow circle over here, which will line up to be about 40,700 at the moment. If we can break above that and flip this red line, we've got a good chance of pushing upwards again up to $45,000. So that's the short-term direction. That's what we expect. How should you act? Now, how should you act is a really good question. I am personally waiting. I'm not trading right now. I'm not making any decisions. I am simply just waiting. Of course, we just got the CPI numbers last night, 7.9%, considerably higher than expected. And guess what? The 7.9% is an understatement compared to what the real numbers are. They skew the data to make it look the best possible case scenario. So 7.9 is probably going to be more like 10. If you take a look at the interest rates hike, they're only going to bring it up by 0.25, and that is expected to occur in a few days. Of course, this could be bearish for the market. So let's take a look at that BOX chart. This long-term trend line I've actually indicated on this chart here. We found 2 points of contact over here, of course, in that 35K support zone. And of course, our point of contact, which will be the bottom of that bear market, the bottom of that COVID 2020 crash. We can actually shift this on up a tiny bit. The bottom of the COVID 2020 crash. And then we have a lot of contacts of support and resistance, obviously support dropping and kicking off that bull market over here. So this trend line has been a pretty significant trend line, particularly in the early stages of this last bull market. Not so much during the midst of the bull market. We have come down and actually retested the same line twice. So this upper trend line that we're seeing right now is the uppermost trend line, which we do see on this descending channel chart here, which is where this yellow line is drawn in. We just have extrapolated and put it on this chart here. So we can see how that is acting as a local resistance right now in more of a pennant formation than an ascending wedge formation if we take a look at the long term. So what can happen from a pennant? If we take a look at pennants, obviously pennants can break either way. We can see downward breaks or upward breaks. How do you trade a pennant? Well, obviously you wait for that breakout, you wait for a retest and confirmation. For example, if we break to the upside, we wait for that retest confirmation down here before we push higher. I've been saying to you guys for a very long time now, I'm not bullish on Bitcoin until we clear 47,000. I'm going to adjust that. I'm going to say I'm not bullish on Bitcoin until we clear 46,000. We can take a look here. This support and resistance zone is here. If the price gets above here, we will have highs on all these candlesticks here. We would have flipped this major resistance zone. We can see this major resistance zone. We would have flipped that major resistance zone, and we would most likely continue upwards to this green line, which is a 54K region, guys. On the downside, on the flip side, if we lose this trend line, all right, now I've just told you how important this trend line is, and of course, this is that 35K trend line. It's not a coincidence. If we take a look at the log scale, this is that major long-term trend line, which have indicated that market bottom that I've talked to you guys about a few times in the last few weeks. If we lose this trend line, I've said it a few times again, we will have a significant crash, and I do believe that crash will take us between $22,000, $22,000 and $26,000, anywhere between that range over here. That is where I believe the price will take us. So guys, how should you be reacting to the market right now? The best decision is to do nothing, in my opinion. You can trade right now if you want, but of course, look how volatile the market is. Look at these ranges, look at these chops, insane, 20, 30% pumps, 15, 20% drops over and over and over again. Of course, higher lows, lower highs, a consolidation pattern, of course, and it is indicating a strong move is coming. We just don't know which way yet. So guys, I hope that Bitcoin update was helpful. Obviously, I try to keep them short and sharp and to the point. If you take anything away from this video right now is this chart here, particularly these two lines, that short-term trend line. Of course, if we lose the short-term trend line, I'm going to say it again, we lose this yellow circle here, what will happen? Well, we're going to come down and we're going to retest this trend line in here, which will be $35,000. All right, a lot of people are expecting $35,000. That is what will happen on the short term. On the flip side, one more time to remember yourself, if we break over this range here, we can expect a move to $45,000. And of course, we are in a consolidation right now, meaning we are making lower highs and higher lows. And that means a move in either direction is coming. And until we get that breakout point, we do not really know where it's headed. All right, so it's best to wait for the decision and act based on what the chart does, rather than try to gamble and get a 50-50 roll correct. Okay guys, hope you enjoyed the video. I will catch you in the next one. Remember, link in the description to our Twitter and our Telegram. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. If you have any questions, leave them down below. And if you want to see a live stream, let me know. I'm thinking about starting up live streams. I'll catch you in the next video.